Hi Capricorn, welcome to your October 2019 General Tarot reading. It's Serena here, just shuffling the cards. Oh, I guess I've been saying this before every reading. I'm debuting a new deck called Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot Deck. Here's the box. And I'm going to show you the back of the cards. I'm digging them. You know, I looked up Art Nouveau, and apparently this is this is what this style is, artistic style. And when I looked it up, it said, I think they said it was at its height from 1890 to 1910 or something like that. That era, and then I thought to myself, wow, that could be like Victorian, because it does have a Victorian feel to it. So that now I'm kind of like pinpointing what I excuse me, what I thought about it. I really did remind me of a certain style, and okay. So the heart of the matter is the Hangman. The Hangman is connected to Neptune. It's a card of suspension, meaning that something may be, you know, pending. You're waiting for something, waiting for a decision, waiting for somebody else to make up their mind on something. But sometimes this card is about surrender. It could be that there's a situation that you're dealing with and you don't quite know how to proceed because, again, I mean, when it's surrender, it still is dealing with another person, and if they refuse to act and you're just kind of waiting for them, you decide, I'm not going to be anxious anymore about this. I'm just going to trust the process. I'm not going to try to push things. I'm going to let it go. And a lot of times when people make that decision, then things start to actually move, ironically, because the needing for there to be some kind of like resolution or movement created the resistance in the first place. So it's kind of interesting how that can kind of go, you know, go down like that. And so in the past position, we have the Justice card, which can be like a legal decision sometimes. It's associated with Libra. So I don't know if this is a Libra person that you are involved with, but you know, it could be one of these situations where you're involved in an extramarital affair with another person who is married, and you left your partner and you're waiting for that other person to leave their partner, and you even got a divorce. That happens. I bet you that happens more times than we even know, where one person takes the initiative to actually leave the relationship because they're serious about wanting to be with this other person, and then the other person's dragging their feet. And then you find out that the other person's full of crap, I think, unfortunately, because, you know, I don't think it's uncommon for one person to be more invested in a relationship than another person. And for what that's worth. I mean, I think that sometimes a person can be a lot more, casual about it. Maybe they care for a person, but they don't need to show that they care by, uprooting their life, because that's, when you're in a extramarital affair, and especially if there are children involved, a person may be quite leery of, going that far, because they're afraid of there being, major reverberations that, they broke up the family and then everybody's against them and judging them. So it's, it can be quite a dilemma for some people to be kind of in that holding pattern. That's another word I would use with the hangman. This could even be like a work situation that you're waiting to hear a decision about. Perhaps you filed some kind of complaint with the corporation or the person above your boss. I don't know. And the higher message is the Queen of Wands. I will give you two main things that I would say about this card. One of them is that the Queen of Wands, oh God, you know what's funny? This is really funny. I just want to say this because I've said this a million times, but this card is supposed to be associated with Sagittarius, and true to the Rider-Waite, they have her holding a sunflower, which you would associate with Leo. There's this fire energy with wands. And then here they even have a cat, which is associated with Leo too, the lion, the cat family. So it almost really makes it seem like they are trying to show that Leo influence. I should probably write the illustrator and say, hey, is that what you meant? It would be interesting. I wish some of these decks went into talking, having the artist explain why they chose certain imagery. Wouldn't that be fascinating? I own quite a few, well, not that extensive of a collection, but a number of decks. I don't think in any deck have they ever done that. So if somebody who is an illustrator wants to take that on that challenge, that would be great. But anyway, here's a couple of possible interpretations. First of all, this is the spiritual message. So it's really, to me, not about mundane facts and advice, but more on the, kind of like getting you to reflect spiritually. And one thing is with the Queen of Wands, this is an energy of a career woman, okay? The Queen represents the feminine principle, particularly water element, and Wands is fire elements. We have water and fire and, feminine and masculine. And what this means, if you are, biologically a woman, you will tend to have that, even in 2019, that part of you that may be torn, that wants to be maybe a mother. Queens can be mothers, so maybe you want to have a child, and yet you want to keep your job. Capricorn women are not, they don't like turn in their femininity card or their female side, because they are very, I think, oftentimes career minded. But that doesn't mean that that you don't want to have kids if you're a woman who has a career. But you may want to spend time with your child, and there may be some kind of maybe you have found out that you're pregnant and they're telling you have to leave, and you went and complained about it. Who knows? I'm just guessing. Also, this is about confidence. And regardless of what your situation is, when you're waiting to hear about something, whether you're waiting to hear if you won your case, if you're going to get what you asked for from your boss, if your lover is going to leave their partner, if you're coming from a place of fear where you need a certain outcome in order to feel okay about yourself, that's problematic. So the bottom line is that the Queen of Wands may point to the need for you to have the confidence to accept whatever the outcome is of this decision, and even, dare I say, that you take control of the situation. So for instance, with the Hangman, if you're in a lover's triangle and you're waiting for a person to leave their partner, you could very easily say to that person, you know what? I'm going to let you stay with your spouse because you know what? If it's that complicated for you that you can't make a clear-cut decision, you know, I did that for you and now I'm waiting for you to do it. I'm not interested, so have a nice life. And if you're also dealing with trying to seek justice in the workplace and trying to seek fairness, you know, that could be the Justice card too, is that sense of fairness. The Queen of Wands too can mean you don't need somebody else's outer approval through some decision. If you feel that you're not being treated fairly, you can always leave. Unfortunately, I think people get caught up in the trap of, but that's not fair. I wasn't treated fairly. Well, you know what? That's life in the big city. You have to kind of accept the fact that some people are not fair. And I really personally don't think that we have the right to demand that. People can act, if it's a private company, people can act however they want. If it's their business. But in any case, what happens is that the longer you're kind of left hanging out to dry, so to speak, that disempowers you because your fate is in somebody else's hands. So that's why I say, if you can take responsibility and command over your own life, you won't give out the vibe that anybody else controls you and controls your destiny. And I think that is such a great way to kind of like come across to others, because so many people are always like trying to like act like, you know, when you're in the workplace that you're just grateful, that you should be grateful to work there, instead of that the management should be grateful that they have such an amazing employee as Capricorn. And so turning it from being the, you know, the serf or the indentured servant to somebody who is autonomous, who you could even say, I work for myself. I am a free agent. I can leave at any time. I'm not an indentured servant where I have to stay here for 7 years before I can leave. No, I can leave tomorrow. I can leave today. But, you know, and really mean it. That would probably be a lot better for you. What's coming in? Eight of Pentacles. This is a card of, you can see the person is hard at work. This is the card of the apprentice. Sometimes it's like somebody learning the ropes, and, you know, learning how to, being trained for something. This could even be like getting some kind of a certification course. Maybe you need to or want to gain credentials or another skill. I can't bring myself to say skill set. Sorry. And you need to like do that. I mean, it's not that you might need to, but you want to, so that you're more, you have more opportunities because you are planning to leave. But also the Eight of Pentacles means that you're going to do the best job that you can. You're not going to mail it in because you're dissatisfied with being put on hold by somebody, that you're going to just do the best that you can. If this reading resonates with you more on the personal level, then the Eight of Pentacles to me is kind of like losing yourself in your work. I think Capricorns are perfectly capable of this, where you're just like, you put your focus on your career, not to escape your problems, but to like find like a productive way to deal with potential issues that are going on with you right now. And I think that that sometimes can be really the best thing that a person can do, rather than ruminating about something, is to just do something that has a practical value that will have a, positive impact on your life, at least in your work life, so that you don't let everything fall to hell in a handbasket, okay? That's what you don't want to do. And the outcome is the Two of Cups. This bodes well for any kind of situation where you're looking for commitment from another person. Could it be that the other party decides to, this is a card of reuniting with somebody. So if you are, they could say, look, I'm going to really take care of my marriage, and that's what they decide to do. And so then that means that you wouldn't be in that relationship, but they could decide to commit to you. It might have been just a fear of commitment. And perhaps it was a situation where they weren't married, but you were. And you went and you got a divorce, and then they were dragging their feet about whether or not to commit to you. And so maybe they, tell you, yeah, let's do this thing. If it's a workplace situation, there might be some kind of mutual benefit. They choose you, you're connected to them. It has a very positive card of union. So you may have felt left hanging out to dry for some reason, and now you feel like you're being given a chance, and that they're saying, come and join us, or getting that. To me, it would be like getting that promotion or whatever it was that you were looking for. Maybe this was like being like laid off and wanting to rejoin, and you're waiting to hear if you can get your old job back or something. So, but it's a very positive card, and it speaks about union with somebody else. So it makes me think that you aren't going to be going it alone. Okay, Capricorn, I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.